Welcome back. It is another episode of Pardon the Punctuation. I am Aaron Smith, joined as always by the self-proclaimed best producer. I don't know what's coming with what has gone on with your week, but apparently you have declared yourself a dunce. We'll get to that at the end of the show. But the self-proclaimed best producer in the city, Ed Mayhall, and maybe the guy who makes me shake my head more than anybody else.
Yeah, but possibly could have saved your butt last week, so let's just go ahead and put that out there.
Look, there's been plenty of times where you saved my ass. Yes.
All right.
You also make me shake my head more than I think anyone in my life. And also,
I've met your sisters.
Touche. They don't listen, so you're good. And the other half of the Bearcat Brunch, Jeff Howell. And we are joined by special guest, friend of the show, Clay Snowden of Just Baseball.
Clay_SNO.
Well, Clay's got a burner and a regular account. So
did I have to tell you why I switched that?
No.
I was like writing about all of the MLB, and it was just, Oakland Athletics off-season outlook by Clay Reds just sounded so damn stupid, so I had to change it.
I do remember you bringing that up.
Yeah,
I've gone down here, I'm at Just Baseball, and I'm not writing about just the Reds, and it just doesn't flow right whenever you're trying to read something about the Tigers with a Reds name on it.
Yeah.
How was everybody's Christmases, though, before we get into the I know. We'll get to this, Elkern _28. We will get there, I promise. It's on our list of things to talk about.
Yeah. Sad.
But how was everybody's Christmas? Yeah.
Christmas was good. Kids got everything they wanted. Carrie and I try to, we don't do things for each other. We don't get gifts for each other for Christmas. We kind of just don't.
We didn't either.
It's just easier. When we want something throughout the year, we get it. And then we get everything for the kids. They got everything they wanted. Santa brought them lots of cool things, and we brought them lots of other cool things. So they enjoyed it. I think Declan is most excited about his football card collection that he started through everybody who bought him Bengals cards, and then I bought him a stack. Oh, that's nice. A potential Desmond Ritter card, huh?
Ooh, yeah. How'd you get that one?
I don't know. Max bought a pack of cards when he was at Walmart last week, and he got a whole bunch of Chiefs cards in this pack. I feel like his pack had 40 cards in it. But he got a couple Chiefs cards in his pack, and then he had that. He pulled in his favorite team's the Chiefs, and having a UC player in a pack, it was crazy.
That's awesome. When we were
awesome.
So for Declan, I stopped at this card shop that I always stop at, and the guy's like, "Look, they don't really send us many boxes of football cards anymore. They send them mainly to Walmart, Target, whatever." Yeah. He's like, I got these two cards. They're NFL. They're the Panini NFL Player of the Day promotion cards. There's 2 cards in the pack. I'm like, he's like, they're free. You can have them because I was buying Pokemon cards for my other son. So, give them to Declan. I'm like, look, those are. I don't know, what the deal is with them, but there you go. You can have those 2 with the other ones. So he's opening his cards. He gets to those. He opens it. He's like, oh, Joe Burrow's in here. I'm like, cool. So puts it down. The card underneath it is a Derrick Henry foil 9 of 10, stamped 9 of 10.
Oh, wow.
I was like, nice. It's probably worth $30 or something, very minimal, but to say that it's stamped 9 of 10 is kind of neat. Yeah, so he's pretty stoked about that. He's got it in an acrylic case already. He was like, "Yeah, bend it." Display.
With the screws, one of the cases.
Get your damn fingerprints off of it, Dad.
No, they're magnets now, Aaron. They're magnets.
Yeah, they're magnets. They get held together with it's magnetic.
Man, I'm old.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ed. I've taken up too much time.
Right. Ed, how was your Christmas?
It was good. I mean, Michelle and I gets each other minimal gifts, but she got a food saver sealer thing and some shoes. And I got a Dennis Rodman jersey.
Which team?
Bulls.
Good
Black.
question, Clay.
There's actually a great Dennis Rodman book behind me here that I just recently read. I can't show
Bad
you.
as I want to be.
Huh?
Bad as I want to be.
Yeah.
When he's
like,
dressed up like a female.
Over, probably not appropriate for the YouTube live stream. Don't want you all to get flagged, but highly suggest it.
I've read some clips, like some excerpts from it. It's what I've read has been amazing.
It's a wild ride. The first like chapter is just like, I don't want to get into it. Actually, it's a little dark, but it's wild.
I know he breaks his dick like 3 times in the book. So
Whoa!
spoiler
About
alert.
that.
Oh,
Desmond
that's
Ritter
right.
and Alex Pierce.
Oh,
Alec.
it's Alec.
That's what I said.
Yeah, we had his dad on the show and everything. And you're adding weird letters to his name.
I said Alec.
How much was that card?
Right now, $59.99.
Yeah, it was Brennix's first Christmas here, and that was fun. We didn't do a ton for her because she won't remember this one, but we will.
Yeah. Right?
So, yeah.
Get her an ornament that says "Baby's First Christmas," maybe a shirt, and then a couple like
Onesies.
toys to chew, couple
Pretty much.
baby chew toys, and send her on her way.
You guys nailed it. It's like you've done this before. It's crazy.
Right? That way, Clay can take down some notes.
What do you think I'm doing right now? I'm writing.
All right, let's get into it. A lot of show to
We'd
get
ask
to.
Clay how his Christmas was. That's fine.
Well, I thought he would. I thought he'd pipe up. If you wanted to
Literally,
share.
dude. I mean, yeah, it was fine. Nothing big. Like, I
first
don't have
Christmas-
kids to
first
entertain. I
married
don't have any
Christmas?
cool stories. I got a soda stream to make carbonated water. Like, next. Go on.
First married Christmas, though, right?
That's right. That is
You-
right.
You guys,
Mrs.
put
Yeah,
up,
that
a,
went well.
you guys put up a tree?
A very pathetic, fake $30 tree. That's disgusting. And that's
With an
gonna be
ornament
up
that
there.
says our
Hey.
first
So we had
Christmas.
somebody over last night, one of Spencer's friends, and she, about an hour into it, was like, "Listen, I don't want this to sound rude. I really don't. But like, you all have a nice house, and the tree is not nice enough for the house." I was like, "Holy shit, you're right." Like, I appreciate it. I appreciate that, but geez, man, come on now.
Hey, that's a good friend.
That's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
If they felt comfortable enough to tell you that your tree sucks balls, then well
yeah,
done.
yeah.
We went from a live tree the first like probably I don't know 2-ish years we were together, and then like we went out and bought maybe a little bit longer than that, but then we went and bought the fake tree about I don't know 5 years ago, and it's been a 7-foot fake tree, and it gets topped with a Santa Claus hat, and that's it. Like this year we didn't even put ornaments on it this year, just the ones that the kids brought home from school. So there was like still like 30 ornaments on the tree, and there just wasn't a lot of time for Christmas decorating this year.
Well, with that said, let's get into our first topic: the Cincinnati Bengals against the New England Patriots. Win 2018 in what ended up being a weird game.
They played.
The first half was borderline boring as the Bengals were scoring. I think because it was on Christmas Eve on a Saturday, like everything just felt off. It didn't feel like a NFL Sunday. Obviously, it was a Saturday, but just everything felt weird about the game. I know that there were reports coming in before the game that Evan McPherson was struggling to make kicks. That played out. But the Bengals win somehow, some way, in what felt like one of those games that maybe the Patriots would have come back and won, but they snapped the losing streak in Foxborough as they had not won there in 36 years. 22-18.
Oh my god.
So basically,
36
they played one half of football last week. They played one half of football this week, and if they had only played those halves on one of the weekends, we'd have gotten blown out on the other one. So good to go, right?
They find a way to win.
You
Despite
win.
the refs.
That
Oh.
Patriots team is by far the worst coach Bill Belichick team. They have Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator, a shitty coach to begin with, but a defensive guy, and you could see it from the beginning with them. They did not draw up anything to help Mac Jones whatsoever. 3rd and 5s, guys going deep, poor protection. I mean, that whole offense has been a disaster. And 2 weeks in a row for the Patriots, a team that used to pride themselves on, winning all the time, and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick's the GOAT. Back-to-back weeks, they shoot themselves in the foot. The ridiculous turnover for touchdown last weekend, and then this past weekend against the Bengals, the fumble. When I'm watching the game, and don't kill me here, being a Bills fan, I'm cheering for the Patriots because I'm scared of Cincinnati, and I'm scared of Cincinnati in the 1 seed. So I'm cheering for the Patriots. I was so fucking so freaking pissed.
Go ahead.
I was so fucking pissed when they fumbled it. And I just sat there like, this is the change in times. It's no longer the New England Patriots that we have grown to know over the past 2 decades. This is a different Patriots team, and it's a different Bengals team, right? And we are seeing something right now that's pretty interesting because you're seeing the Bengals kind of transition into a more of the powerhouse and kind of a stable looking franchise, something that they have not been over the past 2 decades. And you're seeing the Patriots falling apart. I love it.
The fumble was fantastic. Belichick, more like Belichoke. Am I right?
Hey.
I don't think he's that good. I think Tom Brady carried him his whole career.
Huh.
Not the first person to have that opinion, believe it or not, Ed.
Right. Lukewarm take.
But Joe Burrow had a monster day, despite having a weird half. Goes for 40 of 52 for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, sacked twice. Running game never really got going a ton. Joe Mixon only 16 carries, 65 yards, did average 4. But T. Higgins, huge day, 8 catches, 128 yards and a touchdown. Trenton Irwin, 3 grabs, 45 yards, 2 touchdowns.
How about that guy?
Do we have the best number 4 wide receiver in the league?
I think we do.
I just think there's not enough tape on him that no one knows what the hell he's doing out there.
There is. There's all the way back to a Velveeta commercial kind of tape
like
on
I said,
that guy.
there's no tape on that guy.
Isn't that kind of what happens when you have 3 really, really good wideouts and you have one absolute elite wideout and one that's borderline there? That 4th guy's just eating, right? If you put him on the Giants, like, I'm not so sure he's making a name for himself. But you
Danny Dimes is no Joe Burrow either.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he did. I mean, he had some good games there when like Jamar and
yeah,
like especially the one game where like there was no I guess Jamar was playing, but like T and Tyler Boyd were out because Tyler Boyd's finger went through the skin.
And I still don't think he's right, considering he's being targeted very little.
Oh yeah, well, and you got to think, dude. Like it was like 7. Percussion. It was like 7 degrees.
He's in concussion protocols right now.
Tyler Boyd is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said T. Higgins. My bad.
No,
T. Higgins is.
I saw that. I saw a tweet today that said he's in concussion protocols.
I will double check for verification.
I'm looking right now.
I mean, the other thing, like, so Trenton Irwin, the dude, like, as long as you can catch the ball, like Joe Burrow is going to put it where you're able to do that. But he's made some pretty good, like, kind of those back shoulder catches where Joe Burrow throws probably the best back shoulder ball of any quarterback in the league. And then you got T. Higgins, who I want to say is probably the sneaky strongest person I've ever seen. It seems like every time he catches the ball, he's dragging people like 3, 4, 5 extra yards, like bowling through dudes, and he doesn't like put off the like I'm a very bulky like Travis Kelce going to carry dudes down the field kind of guy, and T. Higgins is like 8 foot tall, and his mom calls him out every time he drops a pass.
Yeah, I love that.
He's not in concussion protocol. His name was brought up several times in comparison with the Tua Tagovailoa concussion that was suffered last night, as it becomes his 3rd concussion of the season. But people were saying that they didn't have the same energy when T. Higgins was concussed twice, although he has said he has only been concussed once. He did miss 2 games for that concussion, though.
All right, then.
Best producer in the world, not the best doctor in the world, Ed.
I'm not one of those internet doctors.
That's for the best.
Yeah.
You'd be more like Patch Adams.
Good movie.
I might call me Doogie Howser.
So Jeff, I mean, looking at that game, obviously that was a must win. all of the games since the bye week have been must wins.
Yeah.
Was there a point in time where you thought, like, all right, this is going to be the one that we lose?
When they were driving back down, I mean, that drive that they had when they were going down before the fumble was forced, I was like, is this really how this is going to end? Like, we're going to lose to Mac Jones because it's 7 degrees out, and I don't like the team just didn't come out the second half. Like, we're just not going to be able to make any, like, we're going to make any we're not going to make any turnovers happen here. And then, then you get the fumble, and you're like, all right. It's still
remember
not over.
There was another fumble before that was ruled not a fumble because the NFL officials need to be investigated.
That's one of the most ridiculous rules.
All right, maybe we should change the rule because I've been thinking about this because there's an easy way to change that rule. If you were underhanding the ball or shovel passing the ball and it fumbles, it should just be a fumble.
Like, an underhanded pass should always be a fumble.
Yes.
If I underhand pass it 5 yards forward and you bobble and it hits the ground, fumble.
Look, don't be an asshole. Throw the ball like it should be thrown. Don't be an asshole.
Any incomplete pass should be a fumble. How about that?
Ooh.
Oh, man.
That's rugby.
That'd be interesting.
Come on, Clay. But no,
so you're saying treat it the same as like a backwards lateral?
Yeah, it's stupid.
How do you go back and watch that replay though and not see that was a fumble?
That he's changing hands. It's here,
because
and his hand gets hit, and then he pushes it forward.
The ball is in the air when he puts his hand forward.
Like, it was ruled not a fumble on the field though, and you have to produce evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt.
There was evidence produced on the show.
I'm just saying you have to produce enough evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was not, or that it was a fumble at that point. And honestly, in the 30 seconds they have to view 6 angles, it was close.
But it went to commercial and came back.
I would not say it was close. Like, and yeah, we're all Bengals fans here, so it's like you're just doing. Evan, like you're just doing what saying what you're gonna say. But when you change the ball from your dominant throwing hand to the other hand, and it's pinned against your body, and you don't make the transition, and then you're just like, so it's like it is literally fumbling out of your hand. So you just kind of push your hand forward like you're doing one of those underhand passes.
This is all alleviated if you call a shovel pass or an underhand pass a fumble. If it's not caught.
Also, any pass that you throw from your non-dominant hand should be called a fumble as well.
If it's just pooted onto the field,
regardless of if it's an overhand throw with your non-dominant hand, at the beginning of the game you have to declare your dominant hand.
Yeah, you have to declare.
Or maybe is that something you have to do at the start of each snap? You have to say
before
you have to say the quarterback is registering.
Left hand has checked in as eligible.
I get it. It's one thing that UCF Superfan says it's one thing to throw it forward. It's another thing to have an already slipping ball get nudged forward. But the way that the rule is written in the book, there's no way to discern that. If it's nudged forward while still in the hand-ish, they're calling it a pass. Again, this is all alleviated. If you just say an underhand ball or a shuffle pass is a bullshit pass anyway, and just have all of them fumbles if they don't get caught. Otherwise, don't be an asshole throwing these bullshit shovel passes and underhand passes. They're dumb.
But
Craig Worlstead should be investigated.
But isn't Foxborough the birthplace of the tuck rule?
Yeah.
So you're never going to get a New England quarterback with a fumble. That's not going to happen. See?
Like I said, I think I fixed it, but that's up to you all to be the judge.
I mean, I don't hate that, if we're being honest.
Yeah, because it's an asshole move. Patrick Mahomes would no longer have highlight reel plays because if he's doing that bullshit, he wouldn't be doing it anymore. You'd have to catch it. Anyway.
Can we talk to The Rock about maybe implementing this in the XFL and see how it goes?
Like
the left-handed throw? Like
if you get
non-dominant hand?
If you get a hold of The Rock and that's what you decide to talk about, more power to you.
On Twitter?
That's exactly what he would talk about.
Defensively, this team looked fantastic, though. They continue to amaze me week after week.
Make clutch plays?
Yeah. Cam Taylor-Britt looked great. Mike Hilton, welcome back. DJ Reader, again, looking like just how he got snubbed is beyond me in the Pro Bowl. I guess because he missed like 5 games, but
don't even bring up that bullshit Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, the Pro Bowl is the last thing. In baseball, we talk about this guy made this many All-Stars. I never want to hear that with the Pro Bowl. Mac Jones made the Pro Bowl and Josh Allen did not last year. Taylor Hundley, who started like 3 games, is a reserve in the Pro Bowl this year. It's the dumbest
bananas
All-Star event in professional sports. No one watches it, and it should have 0.
Don't they just play flag football there now?
They might as well.
They don't even
bring back the Rock Jock MTV Rock Jock flag football game, and
I thought that's all they like. Legitimately, it is.
I didn't think flag football starting this year.
Yeah, so let's do players versus celebrities, and let's do this.
Tyreek Hill said, since we're not going to tackle anymore, why not just have it in the middle of the season like like baseball does or the NBA does? Like, why are we even waiting until the end of the season? It'd give everybody a bye week in the middle of the year. It's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
I hate it.
You're gonna get a couple of players who just go on like a 3-week heater and get in the Pro Bowl, and it's gonna be ridiculous.
Nobody would actually go. They don't want that week off, right? You're not gonna have it. You're not gonna have it in Hawaii.
Like, why would anybody want
Trenton Irwin
their star player to go? Yeah, like why would anybody want their star player to go play flag football in the middle of the season though? Like,
why is anybody going to play flag football?
You shred your ACL like halfway through the season now, like
on a non-contact injury.
You've ripped off the first 6 weeks, 7 weeks of the season. All like you're 7-0 going into the Pro Bowl All-Star weekend or whatever they call it, and then after that you lose like 2 of your best guys in the Pro Bowl.
Hey Zach, Chase made the Pro Bowl. Yeah, sent Trenton.
Ha!
I missed it.
That was funny in my head. All right.
I totally missed it. Were you saying that Chase would just tell him to send Trenton to the Pro Bowl?
I was saying Zach was saying just send Trenton, but
you
guys were listening.
I was trying to decipher if you were speaking English. That's fantastic. Obviously this team has only 2 games left. 2 very important games though, as they come against the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. If they can make sure they hold off the Ravens regardless of what happens against Buffalo, then they clinch the division. They clinch a home field game, and I don't know. It's been a wild ride of a season thus far.
Yeah.
What do you guys? So Collins is out.
La'el Collins done for 7 months. He is shelved. ACL.
What do you guys? What is your take on the call for Big Whit to come back?
It'd be great if he was in shape, but he's not in shape.
And he's not a right tackle. He's not a right tackle.
Move some guys around.
You don't go from not playing professional football to playing professional football in a week.
The only person
I don't care what kind of shape you're in.
He said it would take 2 weeks, so he'll be ready for the playoffs. And if we get a first round bye, then he has 3 weeks to prepare.
I think that disrupts your locker room as well because
the gel of the offensive line, like he himself talked about it several times this season after Thursday night football games about how offensive lines take time to figure each other out and where we have backups on this roster that have at least taken some snaps together with them, and then you're asking to bring him in. They're gonna move him. They're not gonna bring him in and say, okay, you're just gonna play right tackle. They're gonna bring him in and put him at left tackle, and then they're gonna have to move guys around. So now you want to go in and jumble your offensive line going into the playoffs just to bring back Andrew Whitworth?
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think
he's a leader. I think
deep down he knows it doesn't make sense too.
Well, we also bring in a guy at tackle in Hakeem Adeniji, who, believe it or not, started in the fucking Super Bowl last year.
Well, I know that, and obviously, also it's not going to happen. I mean, Jack Taylor even said today We got guys in the locker room. Don't worry about it.
Again, because you disrupt the locker room. That's like saying that I know you've been with us all year, but you were never really good enough.
Yeah.
It's not
You don't
good.
do that. I mean, what the Rams had to bring Eric Weddle in last year because like they just didn't have anybody there. That's not a good idea. I don't think they're for to do that. UCF Superfan brings up something that I feel like I talk about this with my brother-in-laws at least once a week, like how much better the AFC is than the NFC. It is ridiculous.
Absurd. Yeah.
I don't know. So I didn't realize this. I guess like in the CFL, like it can happen where like two teams from the same conference end up in the championship game. Because I think they do like they do like wild card seeding or something in the the way they seed things in the playoffs.
I guess
I could be totally wrong. I could have interpreted what I was told totally wrong, but pretty sure.
I mean, even if they do, like let's just say they do, why have conferences? Is it just for scheduling purposes?
I guess. I don't know.
Silly.
I could be wildly off on that. I'm not a CFL connoisseur. It's just what I had heard. I didn't double check it because
ESPN Plus.
Because the only time I watch the CFL is the Grey Cup, and that's only whenever there's a lot of UC fans retweeting it because Zach Collaros is in it.
Fair enough. Don't be a hater. I'm not hating. It just doesn't make sense as to why you would have conferences if you just reseed everything come playoffs. It seems like a waste of conferences. Just have a
What just happened?
Ed's not the best producer.
What just happened? Is everybody still here?
Yeah, I just had low internet and
I don't know what just happened.
And everything got shuffled.
Same here.
Yeah. We're good. Ray, we're here to talk about the Bills and the Bengals. Let's do it.
Shuffle this back around before I get a headache.
I'm working on it.
All right. We do have our hey, your internet bill. We got Clay Snowden of Just Bills Football here, and he's gonna break down the Bills versus the Bengals.
I want permission to have a couple of minutes essay style rundown of the Bills defense and then offense. It'll be very informative. Oh my gosh, I got it. Okay, Bills defense. Micah Hyde, Pro Bowl safety, is out for the year. Might come back. Other than that, Von Miller's been out, but the pass rush has not been nearly as good as they thought it could be, after selecting multiple first and second round picks. Elite linebacker combination in Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano. Trey White, a Pro Bowl corner, is back from injury, working his way back. Is looking better week to week. Still might take some time to get back, though. On the other end, though, is Dane Jackson, and he sucks. Makes a couple flash plays here and there. Kyer Elam, first-round draft pick of this year out of Florida, has been rotating in and out with them. So you'll see number 30 and number 24 kind of going in and out. But that's where the Bengals should attack. The Bills are a primary zone defense, and they like to do a lot of disguised coverage. Joe Burrow is good enough to see past that, though. So Joe Burrow won't be fooled as much as maybe Justin Fields was, right? A younger, less experienced quarterback. But with the Bengals having so many great wide receivers, this is the perfect opportunity for them to take advantage of either Dane Jackson or Kyer Elam. Xavier Rhodes is on the roster too. He's washed. You might see him some. Taron Johnson's the slot corner, and he will do a great job. He's a really tough player. So I think what the Bills do is do everything they can to force the Bengals to run the ball. Anytime Joe Burrow does not drop back to pass, it's a win. You want Joe Burrow not doing what Joe Burrow does best. You don't want your best player doing what he does best. The Bills are going to invite the run, I think. Against Miami 2 weeks ago, they couldn't stop the run. Last week against Chicago, they could. They have a couple good players like Ed Oliver and AJ Epinesa and Shaq Lawson, believe it or not, who all help against the run. But that's the rundown of the defense. I'm going to be brought back in here. We can talk about that. Then the offense, is that how this is going to go? I feel like I'm on an island here.
You took over the show, so you do what you want to do.
How
Clay.
was that?
I thought I was watching Sports Center with Jeff Passan.
A couple of minute breakdown, I did some Bengals focus.
Yeah, it was good. It was
It's
good.
good.
So one thing that I think you all will see a lot from the Bengals, and tell me if they do this, the Bills are one of the worst tackling teams in the entire NFL. A super good defense who cannot tackle. Do the Bengals often enough do any type of a screen game or just really short passes? Because if I'm the Bengals, what I'm doing is quick dropbacks, get the ball out of my hand, and force the Bills secondary to tackle.
They do
Because
that.
that is a position
whole
that they are.
P-Ryan.
All but 3 of their starters have over a 13% missed tackle rate.
P. Ryan
They-
and Joe Mixon dump off.
P-Ryan
that.
is an elite
dump
stiff
those?
armor.
They also run that little
Bubble screen.
the little bubble screen out there, like the little pass out to like Jamar. They'll have him like they'll line up 3, and then he's in the back. He takes the step backwards, like a half yard back, and catches the pass.
The one
and
that
he's
the
got-
Browns blew him up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do that or any type of like jet sweep, I see any type of way that you get Jamar in motion before the ball snapped. So rather a jet sweep, a screen, any type of route that he's moving in motion beforehand to get that start. Because if you can get even like Dane Jackson's an okay tackler, but the others, like even Trey White, who's a good player, sucks at tackling. Jordan Poyer's a good tackler. DeMar Hamlin, not so much. Like, there's so many holes if you can just get the ball in their hand and make the Bills make a play. And that's where I see like the Bengals being able to not only win the game, but win it in a very like frustrating way for a Bills fan. Why are they called Bills and not Bulls? I do not know.
That's a good question.
It's actually a really good question.
Ed, look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So that also kind of goes to the. It gives me a lot of excitement going to what I said earlier about T. Higgins being like, yeah. So like, he typically catches the ball, and then you'll see like 2 or 3 dudes that he drags 5-6 yards down the field. Like, he's just sneaky strong in that aspect. Where like normally you see some of these receivers nowadays who like get hit and are not like really game for trying to fight for extra yards. It's like they're jumping out of bounds or they're going down. I guess for one, a lot of them they don't want the ball ripped out or whatever. But T. Higgins has zero fear of that. I feel like Jamar's pretty good with that too. Jamar is more like shifty, wherein like he just finds holes that aren't there and gets through is able to get through the secondary that way, as opposed to just like enforcing his own will on people.
And the Bills are going to run a good defensive scheme. Leslie Frazier is a really good defensive coordinator. And the thing it comes down to really is a player
used to
being
be
able
here
to make a play. And my question for you all is, and I know the offensive line has looked a little bit better in recent weeks. I know there's the injury concern. Von Miller's not going to be on the field. However, the Bills have been able to generate pressure with Gregory Rousseau, who's a first-round draft pick, and they have 2 other second-round draft picks. They have some bodies and some production, but they also bring Matt Milano on the blitz a lot, and he's a dynamic player.
Don't they have Ed Oliver?
Yeah. I mean, they have some people who can disrupt. So, to me, and I know I love Joe Burrow. I want to make that very clear, but it's not like he's always the most mobile to get out of the pocket. Now, I'm not saying he's not mobile, but at times when he takes a sack, I feel like, and maybe it's just because I watch Josh Allen all the time, and it's a little different, but I feel like sometimes he can get kind of caught in the pocket. And I wonder if that happens a couple times this game, and that may be because to me, this is going to be a game that is going to be a 3-point game.
Can I tell you what is more of a fear for me, Joe Burrow, than holding onto the ball and getting caught in the pocket for sacks?
Interception.
Tip passes.
Tipped passes.
He leads the league in tip passes.
He has more this season than he did his whole career.
It blows my mind. I don't know if it is something. It has to be something that defenses have picked up on. There's got to be something in there that they've picked up on that they can figure out where he's going or when he's going to pull the trigger. Buffalo 3.
I don't think that's going to be
So Jeff, my question is, typically a tip pass happens because if you can't get home, you get up, right?
Right.
If you can't get home, you get up. The way that the Bengals offensive line has been playing, I would think more teams are mentally telling themselves, regardless of if it's right or not, we can get home, and they're not trying to get up as much, which makes it even more bizarre. I don't know what the answer is to that, though, but that is really interesting.
I don't know if it is like, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they realize now, like, okay, like the line is starting to gel there in Cincinnati. Like, we don't need to be able to get home because it hasn't taken a whole lot of, like, I mean, you're talking about, 300-pound linemen that are jumping and able to bat these passes. I mean, I realize like a lot of them are pretty damn tall in their own right, but still, like, they're able to get off of these blocks enough to get, up high enough to knock these passes down. And it's caused a lot of, like, issue as far as, like, it's stalled drives out. And then, like, I don't know if that's led to any of the penalties on the offensive line as far as, like,
I think the Bills had 3 tipped passes at the line. Ed Oliver had 2 last week, and Gregory Rousseau had 1, I believe. So maybe that is, part of a game plan. And the reason why I like talking about something like this seems like it's not a big deal is because I really think these teams are so talented and, pretty evenly matched. It's going to be such a close game. It's going to come down to crap like this, right?
Yeah.
It's going to come down to a special teams play. It's one of those games that, like, a punt return for 16 yards instead of 3 is going to be something to cheer about because it's going to be a game that, like, every inch really, truly counts.
Who do you think Diggs is going to be on?
Sorry, what?
Who do you think Diggs is going to be defending?
Oh, Diggs defending? You mean who will defend Diggs?
I was thinking the wrong Diggs. That's on me.
Yeah,
I went with his brother.
Perfect transition to the Buffalo offense, right?
Yeah.
Well played.
Exactly.
All right, Buffalo offense.
That was hilarious. Clay's face was like,
huh?
I was sitting there. I was like,
switch?
dude, I don't want to, like, tell Aaron
No.
he's wrong on a show, but, like, am I stupid?
that one-
Am I trying to-
You can do it.
Transition into the Bills offense. Josh
Champions
Allen,
wrong all the
as
time.
everybody knows, one thing about Josh Allen is he makes up for how bad this offensive line is. Because how often do we see him scrambling, running for his life, and people will say, "Oh, look, he overthrew so and so." Well, he's running on every damn down because the offensive line sucks. Mitch Moore's starting center got hurt last week. He's the nucleus of that offensive line. Their best offensive lineman, in my opinion. He's going to be out most likely. I don't think they've said that, but it's his, like, 4th career concussion. Like, it's not looking good. So now you have, like, backups and backups. The key matchup here is right tackle Spencer Brown. Super freak athlete at 6'8", not good. Like, you all can beat him around the edge, and that's how you get to Josh Allen. Josh Allen has 3 Monday Night Football games in which he has thrown for 4 or more touchdowns with 0 interceptions. Only Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees have more with 4 and 5. So he's definitely going to be on the big stage. We all know about Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs, they did not give him the ball in the first half once last week. Bracket coverage really took him away. Different play designs. It just wasn't his thing. I think it's a Dawson Knox game. Big tight end. That's going to be an opportunity to get going, which is short passes. And he's able to take the top over, and he's starting to kind of heat up. He's kind of started off slow, but a super dynamic player. Somebody who I think could have a huge game. Other than that, there's not much to worry about with the Bills in terms of personnel. Isaiah McKenzie's fast, but he's not good. Gabriel Davis is a big target, but he doesn't have a full route tree. And he catches the ball like this, like a clamp. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Not a true number 2 receiver. Other than that, Cole
Dawson
Beasley.
Knox?
I talked about him.
Oh,
The running back room. Here's the last thing I'll say. The running back room. James Cook.
Bills suck. Bengals by 90.
Really, really good last week. And James Cook has been coming on recently. Tons of speed. Dalvin Cook's brother. Guy who needed to get worked into the system. He has looked awesome. And that's truly a guy who could be an X factor in this game. Devin Singletary over 100 yards last week and James Cook 99. Thank you, Chad.
I was so confused as to what just happened.
Clearly, I've been confused the whole show.
Aaron has no clue what's going on, so I was trying to help him out a little bit.
It throws me off because I can't see when people jump into the room anymore, and all of a sudden Chad just popped up here.
Clay, what do you think about Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas? You think they'll have big games?
I think so. As long as Bruce Smith can bend the edge there against the new starting tackle for the Bengals and get home a few times.
Max Montoya?
Takeo Spikes?
Takeo Spikes. Oh my gosh. How about Antoine Winfield? Eric
If the Bengals win this game, do they send the Buffalo Bills more chicken wings for helping them out to get to the better seed?
Man, I'll tell you what, the Bills Bengals past few matchups have been weird. I've gone to everyone in Cincinnati and it's been kind of a meh game. And it tends to kind of go that way. And after watching the Bills, now the Bills have won a few in a row, but each game I was frustrated for the most part, thinking this team is so much better than they're playing. Every single game had moments where they did not deserve to win. And I'm not saying I expect flawless football, but the Bills have played worse than their talent is. And that's what scares me with this game. This is a big stage, right? Standalone game, Monday Night Football in Cincinnati. That crowd's going to be riled up. And, the Bengals are playing good football. I don't think they're flawless either. I'm not a Eli Apple guy. I know I'm not the only person on an island there, but I think if I had to, and no one even asked me for this, but the prediction I would say would be I will go 21-24 Bengals.
So 24-21 Bengals.
Hold on a second. Ed, unmute yourself for a quick hot take here. What does the prediction 2.0 sticky note say?
1 second. I think we all had it as a win.
Nope,
I don't think so.
2.0?
Yep.
2.0.
2.0 has Aaron with a win and Ed and Jeff with a loss.
That's a Bengal, just the prediction
And then
that we did a few weeks ago.
And then Baltimore is flip-flopped.
Yeah,
That is correct.
You got to win that Baltimore game.
I agree.
yeah, you got to win the division there. Although, is there if the Bengals win this weekend and the Ravens lose,
The Bengals win the division.
then the Bengals win outright.
Yeah.
Only
Only having one game in the division.
In the division. Hey, no, they've won 2, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they beat the Steelers and then the Browns.
I forgot about this.
You could potentially go 2-4 and win the division.
You're right.
I will be at that game on Monday night, full Bills gear, and I hope somebody comes up and gives me shit.
Are you going through a table?
Do you have
What's that?
Bengals or Bills Zubaz pants?
My buddy does. I do. So I guess I will tell you all this, although I know you're gonna make fun of me forever. I bought some at one point in time, and I was really excited about them. And they came in the mail, and I didn't realize they were like yoga pants, so they were skin tight. I did put them on one time in my own house to get a laugh. Took them off and threw them away. But
Ooh, it's so bulgy.
yeah,
That's weird. Can we not ever say that again, please?
I'm really sorry of the awkward visuals that might have created for some people.
You couldn't just give them to the wife. You're like, here you go. You have a new pair of
This
Bills.
was pre-wife.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you going to go through a table while tailgating?
No,
Oh,
Last
that's not
time
a
I was
full
in
Bills
Buffalo
experience.
for the game, I had borrowed without asking, whatever you want to call that, a table from work. And we made it through the whole day. Everything's looking good. We get in the car because, it's 25 degrees. We turn on the heat, about to go into the game. And next thing you know, I look behind me and some random dude is just boom right through my freaking table. My work's property. I was so mad, dude. I just had to leave it. And luckily I left that job before anyone found out that their table was missing. But
So wait a minute, you took a table so you could tailgate.
yeah,
Was it here or was it in Buffalo?
in Buffalo.
So you're in Buffalo, you have a table to tailgate for the game. You're a Buffalo fan, so it's not
Driving a table all the way from Kentucky.
Yeah.
and some random Buffalo.
Literally some guy,
Bills
like
Mafia
everyone's
guy
walking
just-
into the game, right? So there's like a wave of people. And I'm in the Hammer lot and this guy's just drunk and just walks through and literally just like gets a little bit of a run and just bam.
He's like,
Slam and then gets up. I hear it. I get out of my car like I'm gonna chase this guy down. I'm not gonna beat his ass, but I'm gonna punch him once. He's gonna beat the shit out of me. And I can't freaking catch him. He disappears in all the people, and now I'm left with a table I can't even take home. And I don't know. Like, do I throw it away? It's now bent. I don't know what to do.
I like that Clay said BAM right as the BAM Sports Show decided to leave a comment. I'm not even sure.
Damn, sports show.
Not
I
even
don't know
sure
who
who
it is, but
who
that's
the-
awesome.
I don't know who the
Oh, what's
posts
up?
are, but I also don't know why Ed has a bat in his hand again.
I always have a bat in my hand.
It's no, you don't actually. You don't always have a bat in your hand. You just
He
decide
always
to
has
get it out
something
there.
in his hand.
At
I
random
did,
times.
I did forget to mention though that I did get a signed Barry Larkin bat this weekend.
There's
Cool.
no Reds Fest this weekend.
No, I traded
talking
a
about the
bottle
Reds
of-
yet.
Okay, we can talk about it when we get the Reds.
The Oklahoma State Cowboys. Sure.
Pokes for short.
We'll see you next season, sir.
Clay just gained hella cool points. I just think it's
Because someone
hilarious that
crushed
like
my work table.
Clay sitting in his car, like, all right, we're gonna go into this game, and some random dude just like Jimmy Superfly Snuka like flies out of nowhere, destroys his table, and disappears into the crowd. Well, Clay,
Man,
Clay's like,
There's
what
so
the
many
fuck?
wrestlers' names that you could have used right there, and I'm so glad you chose Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Because
the
if you would have
last
said
game
somebody
I
like,
went to, Bills Bengals in Cincinnati, Tyrod Taylor era Bills, pouring down rain, like 38 degrees, and I went to the trash can in the stadium, lifted it up, found the roll of trash bags, ripped them all, and made ponchos for our entire section. Man, we were all just wearing black trash bags in the stadium. The other Bills Bengals story I will have to tell you offline because it's a little
Okay.
too embarrassing, but you all will love it.
so why haven't they invented breakaway folding tables? That's a good question. That sounds like $1 million idea for the Bills
Especially in
Mafia.
Buffalo, right?
Yeah,
on the next Shark Tank.
this is
All
just
right.
a breakaway table for my Bills
So,
fans friends.
Around the horn. What's
They absolutely have breakaway folding tables.
There you go.
Like they fold right in the middle. You just hit them in the middle and they collapse up.
But I think he means
Not in
ones
that
that you
direction.
can break, that you
Yeah.
can break through, and then just put them back together, and it's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
to go.
That
How
defeats
about
the
we
whole
just don't jump
purpose,
through
Ed.
tables? We instead act like an adult.
Clay's like, don't be assholes.
Look,
When people
Clay
steal
is-
tables from Kentucky.
Clay is Bills through and through, except for he draws the line at the Bills Mafia breaking everyone's tables.
Man, I'm for whatever helps you sleep at night. If that's what you have to do at a Bills game, fine. But break
How many-
your own property, or not my work's property, I should say. And there's just no reason to put yourself in harm for what?
How many bones have been broken along
there-
with tables?
And concussions.
Hips.
It's unbelievable.
The best is when the table just doesn't break. They hit it and just
Yeah.
bounce.
Yeah.
And like, or like
Yeah.
somebody's already laying on it. They're like leaning over, and then they jump to like land on them. And
I'm kind of amazed it lasted this long. I thought it would be like a 1-2 season thing, and like people would get hurt, or enough people would be like, "Oh my god, yeah, that's bad." And instead, it's just like a thing now, and I'm not a fan.
Oh, they do make them,
I told you they make them.
and they actually have Bills logos on them. They're actually Oh, it's a toy
What-
folding table. Never mind.
What kind of pussy Bills fan jumps through a breakaway table?
Not a
Question.
Bills Mafia fan.
No.
They just wait till Clay brings them a table, a sacrificial table from Northern Kentucky that they
Dude,
can
I
break
thought-
and run away with.
I swear, so I left that company shortly after, and they had an event.
You were fired from that company shortly
They had
after.
an event in which they need all of the tables, and I know they had a discussion. Where the hell is our 6-foot table? Like,
This is
I don't
why
know.
you were.
What are you
This is why
talking-
you were fired.
They're like, "Where's table 26?"
I wish I was fired. Actually, I would've-
You should took it back. Like Aaron knows, I used to work for a catering company, and one time we lost a table on 275. It got ran over like 3 times. We went back on the highway, picked it up. We still use that table to this day.
I thought you used to work for them. So do you still use it?
They still use that table to this day.
You said we. I'm very confused. I think.
Well,
you're
I work
still-
for them every once in a while.
I think you're still a caterer.
Every once in a while, yeah.
All right, around the horn scores. Ed or Clay said 24-21 Bengals. Ed, Jeff, what you got?
I'm gonna go 27-21 Bengals.
So you're going against your prediction. For
I'm going
2.0.
against my prediction.
Ed,
I'm actually going to go against my prediction as well. I'm saying 24-3.
3?
Yeah.
No, it's not gonna be 3.
It's my last game I can bet on. Or is this the first game we can bet on?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, wait a minute.
Why does that change your prediction?
Yeah. Speaking of scores, though, you know that the score
about
of
that.
the Bengals Patriots game was a scoregami.
Did want to put out, by the way, and we will. I did see that it was a scoregami. That was pretty cool.
What's a score got me?
The only time that ever in NFL history that score has been achieved.
Oh,
22-18.
Scoregami.
congratulations.
Chad, I
We
don't know
have
if
to
you
hang a
want to,
banner for that.
Chad, I don't know if you want to pop back in to talk Bet Fred while you're here. I know Not So Cool Jules was here in the chat earlier as another Bet Fred sponsor.
I mean, we can talk Betfred.
They called me today.
What did they call you?
They called me Ed, but they called me on the cell phone.
Oh, okay. To do what?
Late night when he needed some love.
Yeah, late night. The same thing they texted me about today. They wanted me to refer friends so I can get free $50.
He signed
What
up.
friends?
He signed up before they had the code.
Good job, Ed.
There's
There's the link. You can sign up. You get a $20 free bet on the Bengals winning the Super Bowl. You get a welcome invite to their New Year's Day betting party. You get another welcome offer on January 1st, good for up to $1,111 in bonus bets, and a chance to win tickets to the Bengals merch and free bets as well. All courtesy of our new sports gaming partner, Betfred. Just go to the link that's in the chat and register for your pre-registration for January 1st. That's all
Right
you have
now-
to do.
Right now, Buffalo is favored by 1 point in this game.
Really
1 point.
1 point.
on the road.
ESPN's
against the
giving
Chiefs
them
Killers.
ESPN's giving the Bills a 54.8% chance to win the game, and the over/under is 49.5. So they're guessing a lot of points scored in this one. That said, I'm going to go 21-17 Bengals.
Not so fast. Bring out the Bills helmet.
I thought Clay had props.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I'm sticking with my prediction.
All right.
Let's be real here, guys. Tiger or a cow, easy money.
I'm watching a lot of Yellowstone. I think a cow might be able to fight back a little
I
bit.
saw a video on Twitter this week of a buffalo moving another buffalo out of the way, like basically knocking the buffalo over so other wolves could attack the first buffalo. What an asshole buffalo.
That's the kind of mentality the Bills play with. Just
Not-
moving buffaloes. to
P.S.
attack.
I found it. Then the reason why they're called the Bills and not the Bulls, because they were actually named after Buffalo Bill.
That's
they
not a
should be-
joke. That's just like a real thing.
That's a real thing.
They should be Cowboys then, and not at all Buffaloes.
Well,
I don't think you know what a cowboy is, Aaron.
Buffalo Bill was a cowboy, was he not?
Was he a real cowboy, or is he just like one of those fairy tale?
Did he play one on TV? I don't know. I don't know the lineage of Buffalo Bill. Clay, why don't you know this?
I could not tell you the reasoning behind any team.
Clay.
names, really.
Before we transition into Reds, give us your thoughts on Tom Izzo getting a technical while wearing an elf sweater.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bill was actually an American soldier, a bison hunter, and a
We moved on,
showman.
Ed.
He wasn't actually a cowboy.
All right.
Tom Izzo is a damn fool. I love him, but he's a damn fool, and he blows his head to. I mean, he just goes out of his mind. But so what you all don't know about Tom Izzo is he plays the accordion. Okay,
Didn't
and
know
every year he does a weekly radio show, and every year at this radio show around Christmas time, he brings his accordion and brings the team to the restaurant. They all sing Jingle Bells, and he plays a big Christmas fan. Absurd video. Go find it on YouTube if you just want to see Tom Izzo playing an accordion. It's crazy. So
You should tweet one out. Tweet a video out tonight after,
I'm sure I've
after we're done here.
tweeted. I actually think I tweeted a GIF of it on my account that
Okay.
you all know about. Yeah, so he's a big Christmas guy. Greg
You can't play that. Ed.
Campy, who is the
I can't
head
play
coach
it.
at Oakland. Go ahead.
I
No,
can't
we'll-
play it. We
we'll-
can't play
we'll-
this.
We'll get knocked.
So yeah, they're just big Christmas guys. And they decided they do that like every year, but it got, around the internet because he got a technical. That's really all there is to it. All you need to know is Tom Izzo is a fiery guy who likes Christmas.
My favorite thing is he went viral. He went viral for two totally separate things, like back-to-back weeks. Well, because the other one was him standing against the wall eating like popcorn, and I think a popcorn kernel fell on the ground, and he
Look at this man.
Turn off the sound, Ed.
Sound's not on.
Okay.
Follow me, and I want to knock them up.
That's the sound.
Oh, the sound's on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't choose sound. Okay, now it's off.
Yeah. All right.
It's
So
This one.
this is at Reno's East. He brings the team out, plays the accordion, they all sing. I mean, tell me you don't want to play basketball for this guy. Look at him.
He's a crazy person.
that's
I love it.
awesome. Very
All right.
interesting tidbit.
So
Hey, everybody, by the way, who said he's gross. I would not have eaten that off the ground, but guess what? Breaking news, he's still alive. The 5-second rule is real. He did not die because he ate a piece of popcorn that touched the ground.
Yeah.
Yet you all send your kids to daycare to get every fungus, and then you kiss them when they get home, you sickos.
Petri dishes.
You all are
Kids-
sick.
Kids are petri dishes.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not. The 5-second rule is a thing.
Thank you, Jeff.
And it can sometimes, and if you're a coach, it gets extended to like the 8 to 10-second rule. That's how
That
it
guy
works.
if he can yell and scream all week, his heart and his body can take a piece of popcorn that touched the ground.
All right.
Yeah.
So moving on to a little bit of Reds conversation, which is Clay Snowden's wheelhouse outside of the Buffalo Bills, clearly.
Apparently, when our internet crashed, it changed the volume level.
Yes.
I hope Steven's not watching tonight.
Just for fun, we'll do it twice.
Also, put the loop back on. This is Aaron. Get new internet.
I don't think it was Aaron's fault.
Well,
It wasn't mine. He's the one who said his internet said it was not working.
That's not on
Aaron
me.
doesn't host StreamYard.
Everyone in the chat said all of us were gone. They asked if the
We
power
were.
grid went out.
Oh,
We were definitely all gone.
possibly.
Damn. It was like a sun flare or something. Come on, man. It's not on me. Anyway,
Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds. ESPN's predictions came out. Ed, do you have them by chance?
I have the Reds prediction.
Yes.
I sent the link in the thing for like
I got
all the
it.
predictions, but
They are number 30 out of 30. Projected wins 60. Playoff odds 0%. Title odds 0%. I don't know what aggression rank even measures. I've never seen that before. And improvement rank 27. I don't know what that's improved upon, as they're still in last.
Keep that graphic up for a while.
How are you feeling right now, as the Reds' biggest move has been Will Myers and Kurt Casale?
Well, before we get into that, let me just comment on this graphic.
Go ahead.
The names that they freaking highlight from last year, Kyle Farmer, Mike Minor, and Donovan Solano, that's lazy as hell.
Those are weird
Group
names.
of pickups. Nick Solak, Luke Maley, Kevin Newman. Like, this is the exact same publication that wrote an article and put time and effort into saying the Reds were going to lose the most games ever last year after 1 month. Like, that's all you need to know about how they cover the MLB.
Just baseball,
Will
whatever.
Myers, I actually love that pickup a lot. I think Will Myers is going to be, I mean, no, he's not some all-star or anything, but he's an established big leaguer who has some pop. He's a right-handed outfielder, which is something the Reds need. He can play center in a pinch, but it's not pretty. I'd rather have him in right, DH, backup first base. It's a much better backup first base situation than last year, with like Colin Moran and you know, people of that level. So I love the Will Myers move. That is a 1-year contract. I know it says mutual option. The Reds are probably not going to pay 33-year-old Will Myers at $9 million. I mean, it's possible, but I don't.
But he
see
becomes
I
a
don't
guy
know.
that you can trade. You can move him if he.
He
Right.
They're
becomes
going
a
to
fan
trade him at the
favorite.
deadline.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can only trade him at the deadline if he has value, right?
But that becomes
So-
an option for the team that you trade him to, as opposed to him just being a rental player.
Just
right?
like Tommy Pham's deal, where it had the option to. That option is just not one that's likely to be picked up, simply because if he is good, he'll just try to get one more payday. He's 30. He'll be 33 years old.
I
He'll
was
try
gonna
to
say,
get.
are those like transferable options?
What do you mean by that?
Like when you trade them to another team, like is that option available to that other team?
Yeah.
Like
His
a
whole
mutual option
contract
like
moves
that?
with him, so that option will move with him. The question is, if he's good, he'll just try to get another multi-year deal, even if it's just 2 years instead of an option year. If he's bad, that team's not going to pick up a $9.5 million option. But either way, that's not something to worry about in December of 2022. Kurt Casale move, I like it. I think it's good. I don't think it's like earth-shattering or anything. He's a 35-year-old backup catcher who's, you know, has a decent bat and isn't a great fielder. And you have Luke Maley, who I think will be the third guy, kind of, you know, in and out with injuries to other people, or maybe even if he's not on the roster to start the year. And they also signed Austin Romine, who was with the team last year, to a minor league deal. So the team obviously saw last year's catcher depth and all of those random minor leaguers they had to bring up and said, we want this to be different. They brought in, you know, 3 catchers just this season with MLB experience, and not just 1 or 2 years. Like, you know, these guys all have been in the league for like 5 years. So they want to improve the catcher spot. I think they realized what I have been saying for 3 years, that there's just not depth in the catcher position in the minor leagues. There just isn't. They've drafted a lot recently, and we'll see how that pans out, but they went outside 3 catchers. So yeah, those 2 moves I really liked. The Casale one's not moving the needle at all, but Will Myers, and like Chad said, you know, that is a move that you can trade, right? That's what you see with these teams. It works out for both. Come here, get your everyday at bats. If you're good, you can go to a contender, right? Daniel Vogelbach's been doing this for a couple years now.
So are you saying that the Reds are not a contender this year?
I am willing to say that, yes. I seriously do think that they can have more wins than they did last year. I really do think that, and I know that might sound crazy. I know.
I
To be
agree.
fair, you said last year at the beginning of last season, before it even kicked off, that 24 was your target year then. Has that changed?
No. That's the window opening, right? That's your top prospects are in the MLB. As you know, with rookies in sports, they typically don't come onto the scene and perform at their highest level. It takes a couple of years. That's kind of when they start moving in 2024 through 2020, however creative they get to extend that window. My thing with this team this year is Hunter Green, I think, is going to take a step. He had rough outings last year, but we all saw what he can do. I just don't see any reason for him not to at least get better, right? Isn't that typically what happens with pitchers his age and experience? Even if it's not drastically better. Same with Nick Lodolo and Graham Ashcraft. Now, I'm not saying all of them will. We know how that works. But it's not crazy to think, oh, maybe they're all just a little bit better or, a little bit more experienced. Andrew Abbott, I think Evan might have mentioned him. Brandon Williamson, 2 other arms that could factor in, Justin Dunn. And there's just, it's getting to that point that the team sucked last year and you had to watch players that weren't part of the future. And the team may suck this upcoming year, but you're going to be watching a lot more players that are part of the future. And at least that's intriguing.
Sure. What do you think of the new bearded, tatted Joey Votto and what he's been doing on his
Did he
social
just get those
media?
tats?
I believe they're new. Yes.
Yeah, Joey's an interesting guy. It just seems like there's always he's one of those guys that has fascinations. Like he gets hooked on something and he can't stop thinking about it. Like those type of people, right? Like last year, 2 years ago, it was like chess. Like he couldn't stop playing chess. He had it on his phone and he played in person. Like he loved chess. And now it's just like TikTok was a fascination. And he's just a really unique person. So I'm not really sure what to think about it. My thing is, this is probably his last year in Cincinnati, right? And I wouldn't even be surprised if it could be his last year playing. Now, I don't think it will, but it's definitely possible. And he struggled last year and was not healthy. We'll see what he can give them this year. You hope. My hope is that he goes out in a favorable manner. I don't want to see him go out injured or go out and he's batting 210, 309, 390. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want I don't want people to think of him as a negative thing when they think
As
of
a
Joey
shell of
Votto.
himself. Yeah.
Right. Like Ryan Howard was in Philly, everyone grew to hate the guy.
Which he fell off so fast.
Yeah.
I think his career started and ended while Joey was in Cincinnati the entire time.
Yeah.
So real quickly on the story of Joey Votto's tattoos, I typed that into Google so I could try to find a picture, and a tweet from Buster Only came up from April 7th, 2022. Joey Votto does not have a tattoo yet, but he has plans to fly to Brazil in the offseason and get one from an artist who will spend a day with before deciding what art is best. Jokingly asked, what about midlife crisis? Votto said, everything is a midlife crisis. So he
this
flew
is
to
what I mean when I
Brazil.
say he's a unique guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably read an article
not
about
the type of thought process, and this isn't me bashing him, that's just not the type of thought process most people have. And that's why I think so many people think he's really interesting to listen to, is because his mind works in a way that ours typically doesn't. So when you listen to him, it's almost kind of like an adventure for your mind. Like you get brought into areas of thought process that you usually aren't in. It's kind of unique, I guess.
So who under 25 are you most excited about watching this season?
For the Cincinnati Reds or including the minor leagues?
For the wearing a Cincinnati Reds uniform, only because most of the people listening to this are not going to be.
Well, I thought, could I include the minor leagues for the Reds as well?
If they're going to make it up here, or if you think there's a chance they make it up here this year?
I think I'm most excited about watching. Man, it's got to be the starting pitching, and there's several that I can choose. We already know all that, so I'll talk about somebody else though. Spencer Steer. I just think that's the type of guy who could really help the Reds because Ellie De La Cruz, we all know what to think of him, and we all know where that's going. Spencer Steer's the type of guy that can fill holes. So if you're getting there, you're looking like you've got your team set, but oh my gosh, man, we don't have someone at third, we don't have someone in left, we don't have someone at first. He's the type of guy that can just plug those holes, and I think that he's going to be a much better player than maybe he was projected when he came over. I just think the bat will play. Yes, he's better than Brandon Larson. And another guy is Christian Encarnacion Strand. I mean, he's hit at every single level he's been in. Ton of power. Both of those are from the same Tyler Malley trade, and that trade's just looking better and better. Christian Encarnacion Strand has like the type of bat you don't see from people his size and power. Like he has the chance to be special. 5% likely outcome is like an elite player. He probably lands somewhere in that above average everyday type role. Like he has that tool and that ability. Like best case scenario, probably 5% likely he could be like truly elite.
All right. I'm going to give you some names. You tell me if they're making it up to the show this year before September call-ups.
Okay.
Ellie De La Cruz.
Yes.
Noel V. Marte.
No.
Matt McLean.
Yes. Very, very, very quickly.
Brandon Williamson.
Yeah.
Obviously, you think Spencer Steer.
Yeah.
Chase Petty.
No.
Cam Collier.
Not a chance.
I didn't think so either. Andrew Abbott.
Yes.
Connor Phillips.
No. Are you just going through the top 30?
No, I mean, I'm
Oh,
looking at
okay.
guys that are projected 23, 24, or
I got you.
big names for 25.
No, not Connor Phillips.
Okay. Obviously, you think Christian Encarnacion Strand with the longest name maybe ever. I did like that he was impressed with how the Reds did his name on the back of his Reds Fest jersey.
Yeah.
Because I think he said it almost looked like a circle on his last jersey.
Yeah.
Reese Hines.
I'm not sure if he's gonna make the show pretty much
Ever? All right.
Pretty much
Yeah, I mean,
ever,
I'm
is
sure
what he
he'll
said?
get a chance, but I'm not a. I don't want to sound rude. I just haven't seen enough of him. I've not seen enough from him to be an MLB player.
You're not going to hurt my feelings, and he's never made it up to the show on MLB The Show on any of my teams. Tyler Callahan.
No.
Austin Hendrick.
No.
I think that's as far as we really need to go.
Yeah.
Maybe Michael Ciani.
Yeah. No. He's already on the 40-man. He'll definitely get some time.
Or Christian Rowe.
Probably not. I mean, he's one of those like I would really have to think about, but I would lean towards no. But man, if there's some injuries or something, I could see it.
So the last question I have for you, and then the other guys can ask whatever questions they have regarding the Reds. Yeah. You did mention minor leaguers. What minor leaguer, only one, are you most excited to watch in Louisville, where you reside?
I live in Lexington.
It's close enough.
Idiot! I didn't even knew that.
I forgot you
used to live in
did.
Louisville.
You did.
Why
move.
was Ed just so excited about that?
Because I
I would
correct him all
say-
the time.
Because as soon as he said it, I was like, he's wrong again.
Yeah, because he did move during
He's
COVID.
wrong
That's fine.
again?
I've
mean,
been wrong all night. That Buffalo preview really screwed me up. We all have off
De La
nights.
Cruz has to be the answer here. He just has to be, right? He's a top 5, top 10 prospect in all of baseball. He has all the tools. We being the Reds, I'm not part of them at all. They being the Reds, I don't know like when the last time they had somebody with this many tools. Like Jay Bruce was good. Joey Votto was good. I'm not saying that he's on that level necessarily. Like, I think he is, but he can just do so much. He has the speed, power, at the athletic ability, the fielding, can play multiple
Were we
positions.
saying this about our shortstop the same time last year?
Jose Barrero?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
is this Jose
Jose
Barrero's
Barrero,
like,
I don't think was ever regarded in this manner. He also didn't have the power that Ellie has. Ellie's a switch hitter. He had a ball like 517 feet this year in AA. He has a cannon at short. By the way, Jose Barrero almost was my answer for most. I didn't like the word exciting. I would have said like intriguing to watch under 25 because who knows what the hell he's going to be. And if he is what they once thought he could be, then the Reds have a lot going for them.
That's what I was gonna say. That was like my biggest question to you is like, is this Jose Barrero's like this his like make or break? Like, if you stumble a little bit, like, are you losing your spot and never getting the chance back?
No, because look at Senzel's still here.
Senzel plays a position that they don't have, center field. In my opinion, Jose Barrero will get a lot of run at short early in the year, and if he's just not cutting it, I mean, maybe you move him if someone wants to buy low on him. Maybe you just bury him, but he's going to get passed up very, very quickly.
Is there somewhere else on the field that he can that we could legitimately see him play before like moving him at a low cost for like a bucket of baseballs? And
they tried him in center field when he first came up, or maybe that was last or 2021, but I don't think he'll do that. I mean, he's played a tiny bit of outfield in the minors, third base. My thing is like Matt McClain will push him quickly right out of the gate.
There's some people who are not high on Matt McClain at all, thinking that he's going to flame out quickly.
I just think too many people have short-sighted when it comes to how good is this player in the past, 300 at-bats. Like, these players are learning at a rapid pace. Regardless, Matt McClain is like a guy who I think will get a chance because he's drafted to get a chance early. Like, he was drafted out of college, and he's already 23 or 24 years. He's like the same age as Jose Barrero, maybe a year younger. Like, I could see him getting a chance before. I mean, they would have to create a 40-man spot for him. Okay, Matt Reynolds would just get DFA'd. But I think Matt McClain was injured. He was injured a lot last year, and like maybe he didn't have the best stats, but everyone forgot like how he was drafted, how well he was regarded, and how well he played in that first stint right after his draft season because he didn't perform incredibly well. Like everyone just writes these players off immediately and just moves on to the next, and it's just not like why. Like, what do you get from doing that? I think people have this competition of how quickly can I be right about being out on a player. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, if I'm the first person who says I'm out on them, like everyone's gonna remember. Then I'm gonna, oh yeah, I hated that guy.
It gives me Twitter cred. Clay gives me Twitter cred.
All 200 of your followers will love that, Ed.
I think I have a little bit more than 200, but thank you.
Oh, Clay.
No, I gotta stick with Ed. He's not a blue check mark.
No, he doesn't.
Thank you. Some of us don't need blue check marks to get the hits.
It till you make it.
818.
Do the Reds bring back Aristides Aquino?
15,000.
No check.
No check. 15,000.
14,000 of those people hate you, Chad.
That's fine. They're there. All 800 hate you.
Chad, there's so many times I just like get on Twitter and I have a couple Twitter accounts, so I don't always spend time on my Reds one, but I'll log in like once a day and I'm going through, and here's Chad going through like a quote tweet battle of his life. And I'm like, man, how does this guy have the energy and tenacity to go at, because half the time they truly are like idiots that you are arguing with. I'm like, how do you do that?
Because it's not an argument from my end. I'm mocking them. I'm making fun of them.
I love it.
Like there's no ill will on my end. It is just how many times are you going to allow me to openly and willingly call you stupid before you quit?
That's true.
And they never stop. So I just keep going.
UCF Superfan said you have him blocked on Twitter.
Me?
No.
Chad.
That makes sense. It makes sense.
That checks out.
Clay, will Votto retire a Red, and would they move Ellie to center field?
Votto retires a Red. I don't think so. I think he's gonna keep playing. Ellie to center field. Here's why I don't like it. Could it work? Yes. Why I wouldn't do it initially is I don't want any reason for his development to be screwed up. I don't want to tinker with a top 10 prospect in baseball if I'm the Reds. I know other teams might. I want him to come up if he feels natural playing shortstop. If that's where he's comfortable, I want him to focus on hitting big league pitching, and I want him to focus on playing shortstop. I don't want to Nick Senzel this guy, bring him up and be like, oh yeah, by the way, like everything that you've done in the minors defensively, we're going to make you do a totally different thing. It's not like switching second and short where it's like,
Don't give Nick Senzel out.
the angles are different, but like you're still in the infield, still the same principle. Center field is extremely difficult to play, and he's athletic enough to do it, but I don't want him having to do it. I don't want him having to learn how to adjust and all that. Like, Ellie, come up, learn how to hit the baseball really hard and really far, and maybe strike out less. And that's all we want you to focus on. We don't want you focusing on anything else, because the more things that you add to that equation, the less likely it is that he's going to succeed.
All right, we kept you a little longer than we anticipated. Last question. Who's on the trade block this season?
Man, I mean,
Nick
pretty much.
Senzel.
So Nick Senzel's the type of guy that I've been wanting to trade. It's funny, actually, last year, before the season started, I texted my buddy Colby and said, I would do Nick Senzel for Nick Solak straight up. And now they're both on the Reds. And on the Reds official roster are both wearing number 15. They're both Nick S. But, Nick Solak did not do well this year at all. And, he may be good. I like him. But Nick Senzel, I could see getting traded. But the return would be so minimal that I don't think that they do it, because they don't have anyone. He is the best job security right now, because they don't really have anyone who can play center field, or is. I like TJ Friedel can play center field. Mike Ciani can play center field. A couple of these guys can. Do you really want those guys to be trotted out there every single day? And I think I've made my thoughts on Nick Senzel clear for 3 years now that I have not believed in him. So,
are you the first one out on him, or?
Yeah, dude, I have the bookmark tweet. I tweet it every Thursday, and I tell all my friends, like, dude, I hated Nick Senzel before you.
Is John India on the trade block?
I would say no, just because there's absolutely no reason. It's not even reached arbitration yet. That's a guy who I've been saying before I even hated Nick Senzel. Jonathan India is the guy I want to move to left field or somewhere off second base. He's a terrible defender. The shift's only going to make defense at second more important. I think Matt McClain profiles as a second baseman.
I was going to say you have plenty of guys coming up for center infield positions.
Jonathan India, there's just no reason to trade him right now unless the offer was incredible. But why would you sell low on the guy who just won Rookie of the Year and was injured for most of the first part of the year and never really looked right?
Yeah.
Now, as a prospect, I was not a big Jonathan India guy. And I ate a lot of crow his rookie year. I don't think he's going to be the trajectory that we all thought he would after his rookie season, but he's still a very solid player. Why trade someone who's young under team control for several years? Why would you trade him at his lowest point in his professional career?
Fair.
So then the only person you have on your trade block right now is Will Myers, clearly.
I mean, I'm sure that there's some relievers. Alexis Diaz has been talked about in the trade rumors, which is really interesting. An electric rookie season out of the bullpen. Trading relievers, I always say, when you suck, do it. But that doesn't mean just do it because you have to. Like, if he was 33 years old on a 1-year deal, yes, I don't give a shit what you get back. Just trade him. He's 25 and under team control for several years. I'm not just trading him to trade him. I'm not just, shipping him out for a random 17-year-old prospect that's, not a top 30 prospect and some lottery ticket. I'm not doing that. But if a team wanted to legitimately trade for Alexis Diaz and give back, like, actually a good return, especially depending on what position they are. Like relief pitcher's the easiest thing in baseball to replace. It's the easiest thing to find, and it's the most fickle thing in baseball as well. I trade
he said
relief pitcher.
fickle.
We don't use that word.
We don't
on
say
the- on the show anymore.
That's the most previous regime thing in baseball.
Let me rephrase it. It's the most Luke Fickle thing in baseball.
dumbass.
If you have an
We
opportunity
don't
to
say
get
fickle
off
on
of
the
him,
show.
Oh, that's
trade
funny.
Alexis Diaz if the price is extremely good. If not, hold on.
I'm looking forward to a 10,000-word essay on why the Reds released Mike Moustakas from
Mike
Clay Snowden.
Moustakas releasing was the best move that they've made this offseason.
Looking
I'm
forward
dead
to a
serious.
10,000-word essay from Clay Snowden about why it was a good move for the Reds to release Mike
For a second, I
Moustakas.
was going to ask Clay if he realized what show he was on, because all Aaron ever wants to do to any team is just blow it up.
Yep.
Send everybody packing. Get me
Get him out of here.
Listen, I know what
DFA.
Aaron thinks.
DFA.
40 new guys in here.
Aaron and I are very much alike in terms of we get whatever sports video game, and it's like, oh, cool, this is my favorite team. I'm gonna trade every one of you all. I'm gonna get all these other players, and I'm gonna build this shit from the top or from the bottom to the top. I do that
That's why I
too,
love you.
man.
That's why I
do
love
it
you,
too.
Clay. It's why I love you.
Yeah,
All right,
this game.
I'm separating fantasy world, video game world from real life.
Unless you want to stick around with us for the lightning round, we will let you out of here, Clay Snowden.
When-
I'm
Oh,
leaving.
Clay's got a
When
story he's got
NCAA
to tell us.
When NCAA football comes out, finally, Aaron's going to send all those players to the transfer portal.
No,
I guess I can tell the embarrassing story now. No
Okay.
one's listening, probably, besides
Well,
Chad.
16.
we also post this afterwards. So
I don't care. I'll just tell it.
all right.
So, as many of you may know, I'm coming up on 3 years without alcohol. But before that, I loved alcohol. And there was a time, Bengals, Bills, me and my buddy, 2016, 15, 16, something like that, drive up to Cincinnati, 8 a.m. We're drinking about as much as you can drink between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. From what I've heard, we go, first off, I'm playing music on top of the car. After a while, it shakes, falls, cracks. So now I have a cracked screen. My phone's already about to die. I'm
Why
in
didn't
the
you just
game.
use the car?
What?
Why didn't you just use the car?
We had like a tailgating speaker outside type of a deal.
All right.
In the game, drunk as shit, go down to like the season ticket first level, just start yelling about the Bills, like into the Bengals section, get booted from that, blood all over my phone from my cracked screen, scrolling. Realize, I tell my buddy, hey, I'm gonna go get a hot dog, and I never come back. I'm just gone. So of course he's like, screw it, I paid for this, I'm gonna watch the whole game. Comes out, and I made the smart decision, just go back to my car around late second quarter, cook up a few hamburgers, and sleep that bad boy off for 3 hours in the car. Woke up, cracked screen, feeling like shit, had to be, driven back by him all the way home. Just a complete embarrassment of a story, but that was my first Bengals experience. Back in the day when it was called Paul Brown.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember
So
that.
last year, yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, Clay Snowden. We thank you for every minute you've ever spent with us and our shenanigans. And you are probably collectively our best friend. So for that, we thank you.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
All let's
See
did
you,
right
Clay.
by
Happy New
Aaron.
Year.
Bye, Clay. Happy New Year,
New
Clay.
Year.
Be sure to follow him on Just Baseball. He is a hell of a guy, and he has been very good to us.
His Twitter's what? At Clay
_ Snow.
SNO.
All right. Let's get into this lightning round and get the hell out of here.
All right. There's a lot of weird.
Is that the right one? Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Start it
It
up.
really doesn't. Go ahead, Ed.
Oh, my first?
Oh yeah, Ed, you
Yeah.
put this in there right off the rip.
Oh, jeez. Somebody go first.
He's
Well,
not
this is
ready.
actually
He's
one that
not
Jeff
ready for
told me to
that.
type
Okay.
in, but
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
true, but you had the video.
Yeah, I got the video. I can
We
pull
can
it
jump
up.
to number 2.
I'll go.
Eastbay. Eastbay is shutting down. Apparently, 2023. That's the end of it right now. Their website with the code thanks70, you get 70% off whatever you can like scrounge together out of there. At this point, it looks a lot like the inside of a TJ Maxx. Things are strewn everywhere, and hopefully they have your size or something that you like. It is in fact sad that they're shutting down. I always look forward to getting the catalog.
Yeah, it's the end of an era, right? Like, we're all old enough
is.
to remember when that was the shit. Like, before Jordan drop days and all of that, you just ordered everything on Eastbay and it was taken care of. That was before people hoarded pairs of shoes for Jordan release days. Like, you had to stand in line. You got a ticket where you could only get one back in the day when I used to work at Finish Line in high school. Like, I sold a pair of shoes to BJ Grove back in the day, and he was super excited. I even went and bought a hat so I could give my dad a UC autograph when I was working at Finish Line in high school. But, you know, I mean, it's the end of an era with Eastbay being gone. Like, this is, it
sucks.
It's weird as we get older, like as we lose pieces of our childhood. And
I always waited for that catalog to come in so I could be like, go into it and be like, I need this and this and this for baseball season, and then like I need this, and like I ordered my track spikes out of there. I mean, everything, every sport I played from the time like I was old enough to realize what a catalog was. I was always like, Mom, Dad,
I always wanted to
page 35. I got to make a circle around them.
Yeah.
I always wanted to order those weighted shoes out of the back of it for basketball to make you jump higher. I thought for sure that was going to help me, and I never ordered them.
Oh, I remember.
They certainly probably don't have any.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't have any left. There's like nothing. Like seriously, like, you go to like one of my buddies sent me a link and said, "Hey, it's 70% off." It was after you guys had like sent the thing that was like, "Oh, it's shutting down," and he's like, "Oh, I bought some sweatpants and a hoodie and some shoes and this whatever," and I get on there and there's like only sweatpants left and like men's softball shoes and
I clicked on men's and there was 14 items left.
The only kids like baseball stuff that was left were like yellow, purple, orange, green baseball belts. Like no gloves, nothing. So I don't know if there's been like a sale going on the site for a while, and now it's just like upped all the way to 70% because it's like the stuff nobody wants. I mean, you can get shorts and joggers and whatever like that's also there, but it's sad. You're certainly not going to find a pair of Griffey shoes on there like you could get back in the day. You can end that one and jump to your Waffle House story.
It's going to take a minute. I don't know why it does that.
Okay, well, the Waffle House thing is buffering. Is JJ Watt yours?
JJ Watt is
not
retiring.
Buffering. Go ahead.
JJ Watt is retiring. This will be his last season. Fraud or Hall of Famer?
I don't know.
He was a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Easy Hall of Famer. Like first ballot Hall of Famer.
He was just on such a horrible team for all those years.
He was incredible.
On a horrible team.
Also very injured. And he was very, look at me, Louie. But I will have to also say Hall of Famer. I don't think he was actually a fraud.
I think he was
very weird in the way that he ran his life.
The way things went around, but
his brother, although, was a fraud.
I think the Bengals should offer him a few dollars to stop by for a year. I wouldn't hate it.
All right, Waffle House. Jeff and I were watching this video before
It's wild.
Aaron came on.
I've seen it. It's wild.
It looks fake.
No, it's real. I found more videos.
Okay.
Hit play.
Like,
You couldn't do that again if you wanted to. Catching it in one hand like that, turning it, and
like behind you.
It doesn't even make sense. My arm would be broken.
That's why it looks fake. Like, the Dane Cook joke about how like the chick in the stands at the NASCAR race when a tire comes flying in, they're like, "Did you see Pam? She just palmed the tire." That's what just happened right there. She had a metal chair hucked at her face at 100 miles an hour, and she was like, "No, thank you."
She matrixed it.
So apparently before that happened, one of the girls jumped over the counter, and that same girl who caught the chair threw hands like a boxer. And here's that video. That's a bottle. Here she comes over the counter.
What?
And you'll see the girl in blonde right there. She falls.
Oh.
And then she pops in there and just bam, 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 bam.
What? Is it just me? Maybe it's the algorithm.
That's a ninja of some sort. I think she's a ninja.
What the heck?
Maybe it's the algorithm of my current timeline. I'm not really sure, but does anybody else feel like shit's been getting wild at Waffle House in the last couple weeks?
No, always.
It's always that way at Waffle House.
Man.
Dude, I typed in Waffle House on Twitter and 17 videos came up that worked this one.
I've been to Waffle House many times in college.
Always.
Hammer.
That's just a trip to Waffle House.
Back when you could still smoke cigarettes in Waffle House. And I never saw anything
like Waffle House. I think you could. I bet if you smoked a cigarette in a Waffle House, nobody'd say a word.
Probably.
And the waitress behind the counter smoking a cigarette.
In 2022, yeah, you'd probably be all right. It's probably the least of their worries, actually.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because they're worried about getting a chair hooked at them from across the room.
All right, Mac Jones. We all saw the lame
clown trash.
We all saw the lame
garbage.
He's calling it, and many other Patriots fans are calling it a block. I'm not sure why you're trying to block a Bengals blocker on a interception return or fumble recovery. I don't even remember at this point. It was an interception, wasn't it?
Yeah,
interception.
So
what was he blocking?
Jermaine
had the ball.
Right, Jermaine Pratt is returning, and Mac Jones is just out here just throwing a illegal blindside chop block. What are you doing? He was fined. He was not suspended. He was not in any other way in trouble. He was only fined $11,139.
You know, Dave Portnoy said that it's very obvious from the video, if you go back, that both of his legs just gave out at the same time.
That's what happened. Yeah.
That's because Dave Portnoy knows all about both of your legs going out at the same time. Like the time that he was kicked out of the Super Bowl and both of his legs went out at the same time.
He went completely dead-legged.
While he was dragged out of the Super Bowl in disguise.
He went completely dead leg.
Clown.
Ugh. Yeah, Mac Jones is a bum.
Daily ice baths. Have you guys seen this trend on TikTok?
I used to take daily cold showers.
I used to take daily ice baths when I was running.
You don't use hot water, and it's supposed to reset you.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It helps with your mental health and helps with winter.
You know what what they have at Higher Ground as soon as you walk off the field?
Ice baths. I understand that, but it's like this trend that's happening on TikTok lately, where people are going out and buying like horse troughs, like those big metal ones you can get at Tractor Supply store, and they're like just leaving it full of water while it freezes outside, and then getting in for like 5 minutes a day, and they're saying it helps with seasonal depression.
Cold showers will do the exact same thing without having to buy a metal.
Doesn't have the same effect. I think I might buy a horse trough.
I don't.
No, this is golden. Do it.
I'm in on Ed buying a horse trough.
And just like TikTok and videoing it every day.
Set up your GoFundMe for your horse trough, and be ready. Be ready to post videos.
Yeah.
Set up a GoFundMe.
All right. Derwin James ejection. I assume this is you, Aaron.
I did put it in there. Derwin James was ejected last night from the San Diego Chargers for a helmet-to-helmet hit on one of the Colts. One of the Colts receivers that was not Alec Pierce. What did you think when you saw the replay? Should he have been ejected, or is this the NFL getting a little too hyper?
Should he have been ejected?
Hyper protective with what's been going on with the concussion.
He should have been kicked out of 3 games.
I went back and looked and reviewed it and watched it in slow motion, and then I watched their slow motion on YouTube's then quarter time slow motion, so it was even slower.
So Jeff determined that he actually launched from his left leg, and it was not targeting. It was actually
it proved what I thought happened, and that is that his helmet actually did make contact. You can see him
Accidentally makes contact with his shoulder.
Okay.
Accidentally.
You can see him telling him as he's walking off, shoulder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He hit him in the shoulder here with the top of his helmet,
and it glanced off.
And it didn't glance off because he hit him so hard.
His shoulder.
He collapsed his shoulder pad all the way down and then drilled him in the side of the head. With now they've done this before. This has happened before. They didn't call it on this one. They got it right on this one. But I think it was against the Bengals. There was one where they said it wasn't because they determined now that the crown of the helmet is like a 6-inch circle on the top now. So like if you come in sideways or like come off the side of your helmet, it's no longer the crown of the helmet. And that happened. It was in a Bengals game earlier this year, I believe, where somebody got hit and I thought it was going to be, the personal foul, crown of the helmet, whatever. And they didn't, that's when they were like, no, 6-inch circle on the top. And if they can't determine that if it was the 6-inch circle on the top, but this one I thought they got right. I mean, he was he tried to kill him. He was a missile, and he probably would have killed him if he didn't hit his shoulder pad first.
The only issue I have with this is while it was a vicious hit, I still don't understand how you're going to kick somebody out of the game for this, but not kick out or put in any type of fine or any type of, I don't know, like any type of discipline at all for George Pickens when Tyler Boyd is on the ground having got an onside kick and is just there on the ground, and George Pickens just launches himself at him head first, crown first. Like,
yeah, I mean, they certainly pick and choose the way that they're going to do things.
It's hypocritical. The hypocrisy is oozing out of the seams of the NFL. It's where the stitches go in on the shield as they're sewing it. That's where the hypocrisy is oozing out of. It's absurd. Get your shit together.
Next one's you, Ed.
It's not all a conspiracy, Aaron. I promise.
Conspiracy.
Something I forgot to mention we were talking about earlier. I traded a bottle of Woodford Reserve for reserve, not preserve. Sorry. For
Woodford Preserves.
Yeah. The jam. It's a new jam they have. For an autographed Barry Larkin bat.
That's a good trade.
Thank you.
You did it.
You can get a bottle of Woodford Reserve at any time. Like, it's not hard to get.
Not saying it was a good trade for the other person, but I'm saying it was a good trade for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Luke Fickell is currently coaching the Wisconsin Badgers in their bowl game
and getting lit up on Twitter.
Well, he got lit up earlier today for the sacrifices that his wife and family had to make for him to take a job where he's making $55 million. But he is coaching a game for his new team in their bowl game. Should he be coaching this game? What are your thoughts?
I don't care.
I don't care either.
I mean,
he's had a month with them.
There. I mean, he's there. I assume that means Jim Leonard's not he pieced out when he found out he wasn't being retained.
No, he's still there.
Is Jim Leonard still is he the head coach and Luke Fickell is just gonna follow him around or
no? Luke's the coach.
So what's Jim Leonard doing then?
Leonard's on staff, right?
Yeah. Well, he's not staying on staff, but I think
probably just for
there.
Continuity purposes.
Yeah,
it has to be the most awkward situation on the sideline ever.
But I just legitimately don't. I mean, I don't. I know we send some messages back and forth about things that we see. I legitimately just don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore.
Thanks for what you did here. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're moved on to the new guy.
New regime.
On the week.
You're training like a damn bum, you know that? Bum. A bum. You are a bum. You're a bum. And that's all you'll ever be. A bum.
Well, that hurts, man.
Who's going first?
Why are you the bum? You're
the only bum. I'll put it in there. I am the bum of the week, and I'm going to go ahead and own this one. So a couple weeks ago, I called Verizon and got super mad with them because I returned a internet box months ago to them, and all of a sudden the non-return fee has showed up on my account, and they charged me $200 for it. So I was very livid with them on the phone. and all that kind of stuff. Well, last week we had to have a replacement watch. Parker has a watch. We had a replacement watch sent, and I went to return that replacement watch, like the old one, the one that was broken yesterday. I put the UPS box in a FedEx return box. So it probably won't get to them on time, and I will get another $200 charge. And this time I have no one to blame but myself. So I am the bum who will get a $200 charge on their account this week next week until they receive that new watch.
Did you actually send back the other device?
The internet device?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had notes of it and everything.
And they still charge you?
Yep.
Did you ever get your money back?
Yeah.
Oh, so what was the big deal then?
The fact that they took an extra $200 out of my account when I wasn't expecting that 2 weeks before Christmas.
Fair. Okay.
And
Did
it
you put
wasn't
that-
deserved, or it was deserved?
It wasn't deserved. The box had been sent back to them. They got that box back in September. They told me.
Well,
oh yeah, no, we got that back in September. Not sure why that was charged on your account all of a sudden.
and then you shouldn't have had to bitch anybody out. That should have been a pretty easy conversation when they
Was
go
it?
back
It
and look
wasn't.
at dates.
Did they immediately rectify it by putting the money back in your account?
Yes, but at the money they took out 2 weeks. No, they did not immediately rectify it by putting the money back in my account. It credited my next bill.
That helps out. I mean, you're putting everything on Christmas on credit cards anyway, right? So it just becomes.
I don't have credit cards.
Is this first world problems, Ed?
Anyways, all I'm trying to say is I'd shoot out a Verizon employee, and now I've done something that was foolish. And
Would you say it's karma?
Karma?
No.
I think it's karma. Aaron, wrap this thing up.
Don't know what else you'd call it.
Thanks,
I
Chelsea.
agree. That's rough on Ed because he's an asshole.
You never chewed out a customer service person before?
No, because that's my entire career.
Get out of
prior
here.
to this.
Get out
It's
of
been
here.
customer service.
Mine too. And I don't usually chew people out on customer service until there's a whole thing that had to go. They transferred me to 7 different departments. I had to tell the story 7 different times.
It's Big 12 Karen up there.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I give you guys a shortened version of it.
Hypocrisy also oozing out of all of Ed's seams, along with the NFL shield.
That's
right
fine.
up there. There you go.
That's
Big
fine.
12 Karen.
That's fine.
That was another
happened.
episode of Pardon the
That's fine.
Punctuation. We thank Clay Snowden for giving us
Load of bullcrap.
an hour and a half of his time tonight. We thank Chad for chiming in with his comments, as always. Join us again next Tuesday for another episode of Pardon the Punctuation, 9:15. We'll see you then.